You don't need to be flexible to climb hard, but being flexible may allow you to climb harder. In this video, I want to talk about the two most important forms of flexibility in terms of lower body for the climber. And without any particularly further ado, here we go. The first form of flexibility is the high foot. Basically just the ability to bring your feet pretty goddamn high. The second one is hip mobility. It's basically the ability to bring your hips really close to the wall while your feet are also really close to the wall. I would like to start with the high foot mobility and how to acquire this type of mobility. The first thing you want to do is master the egg. Now the egg is basically just a third world squat or the poor man's sitting position. The basic form for this is your heels must stay in contact with the ground at all times and your body's nice and low, just like how I'm looking. The thing about this and why we start off with this progression is because look at where my feet are in relationship to my hips. They are up high, just like if I was standing, my feet would be up high next to my balls. Now, please don't be alarmed when you go down and your heels lift off the ground. I got something really special just for you, partner. It's called a table or a ledge. All you really gotta do is hold it and let your body weight sink backwards into your heels. At first, it won't be the most comfortable thing in the world, but that's because you're not flexible. As you get more flexible, partner, it will become more comfortable, more feasible. So what you gotta do every day until you can finally do the egg normally without support, you're gonna go down for 1 minute and you're gonna hold it. Once that 1 minute is up, I want you to stand up, shake it out for 1 minute. And then you're gonna go right back down and repeat. Some things to keep in mind is that your feet, you kind of want you to have your toes slightly pointed outwards and you want your knees to be pushed outwards. So no knee collapsing, no feet pointed inwards. Feet out, knees out. Just a quick debrief. You're gonna be holding this position for 1 minute. Stand up, shake it out for 1 minute. Come back down, hold it for a minute. You're gonna hold it for a total of 10 minutes total. So this little stretching routine you're gonna be doing will take you a total of 20 minutes, theoretically speaking. Once you're in a location where you have mastered the egg to the point where you can just literally sit like this for forever, then you're pretty much got really good high foot mobility. So next, we gotta put a little bit of strength with your mobility, because mobility without strength is, well, how do I say it? Kind of useless. So let's add a little bit of strength to that mobility now. So the exercise that we're gonna do, let me give you a hint. Bang, bang. They're called pistol squats. Let me walk you through it. You're gonna go down to your egg position, nice and low. Choosing whichever leg you like. I'm just gonna choose left leg for this purpose. And then you're gonna extend the right leg outwards. Once you're in this position, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Make sure you steady yourself. You could keep your feet on the ground. You could place your hands on the ground, or you can even grab something to help you balance out when you first begin. From here, if you're holding on to something, elevate your legs. If you're not, you could just keep your feet on the ground. And then using just your left leg, or predominantly your left leg, you want to push yourself into a standing position. Now, of course, you're gonna lower yourself back down. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I kept my heel on the ground the whole time just to make the movement easier. Once you become more adequate, you will lift your feet off the ground, come up, back down. Eventually, you'll be able to let go. You come up, whoops, back down, and repeat the motion again. Allow me to walk you through the form just a little bit. So with the pistol squat, you pretty much more or less want to have your foot directly pointed forwards or just slightly out to the side. I much prefer just a slight tilt to the outside. You lift up your feet, and as you go down, you want to make sure your knee doesn't collapse inwards, and you also want to make sure your knee doesn't go too far outside. A general rule of thumb is if your knee goes over your toes, that's good. If your knee does not go over your toes, bad. If your knee does not go over your toes, bad. So observe, my knee more or less stays over my toes. My left leg is elevated. And when you first start off, it's gonna be really difficult to keep your left leg or the leg that's up straight. So a slight bend is okay, but ideally the perfect form is with a completely extended leg with your quads nice and flexed. So once you get to the ground, right, find your balance for a little bit and stand back up. And it's very important that your heel does not come off the ground at any point in time of this movement. You might be wondering why we're doing strength exercises if we want to be flexible, and you want to be strong in a flexible position so that when you're in a flexible position, you're able to actually generate force from that position. Let me just give you a fun example. I'm not gonna lie, I've never tried this before, but I'm so confident in my abilities. Say this is a foothold on like a slab where you really can't use your hands. Right, you get your high foot up, right? You need to generate strength from this leg in order to stand up on it, right? From here, whoops, you stand up. Excellent. Oh, control back down. Oh shit. But point is, if all you're good for is just reaching to something, but you can't pull off of it, that's the problem. Well, in terms of feet. That's pretty much it for the high foot flexibility portion of the video. Now let's talk about the open hips portion of the video, which also complements the high foot portion of the video. Well, all flexibility complements each other really. So in short, the more open your hips are, the easier it is to get your body or your hips really close to the wall. Right now my hips are really far because my hips aren't super open. But if I just spread out my legs a little bit, really push my hips into the wall, you can see I'm really close to the wall. And open hips is really good for slab climbing, or when people say, oh, get close to the wall, get your hips close to the wall, bam, now your hips are on the wall. It makes your body lighter and it helps you with body positioning. So open hips is very important when it comes to climbing. Let me run you through a couple stretches for you to do to get some more. In all honesty, probably the best exercise to get open hips is just the middle splits. So what you want to do is find some type of platform to balance your hands on. Right now I'm using a chair. From here, extend your legs out as far as possible and let your body sink into the position. Now let's run over the form. You don't want to be completely vertical like this. You want to have your ass like arch slightly backwards. That's gonna allow your femur to rotate through your hip bones without actually crushing anything. So you want to actually kind of like toot that ass up a little bit and then have a really nice tall torso like this, almost as if you're expecting penetration, but that's not gonna happen. So from here, you go down nice and low and hold the position. When you're holding the position, it's very important that you keep your quads nice and tense and engaged. Try to pretend like you're pushing the ground away from your legs as you go down, because again, we're trying to build strength in a flexible position. Unfortunately, the workout is very similar to what I mentioned earlier. You're gonna go down for 1 minute. Once that 1 minute is up, you're gonna rest for exactly 1 minute. You're gonna go back down for a whole nother ass minute and rest for another minute. You're gonna repeat this process for 10 minutes worth of stretching, so a total of 20 minutes. If after stretching for a couple of minutes, you find that your adductors and your legs are just really screaming from the discomfort, you don't stop. just don't go as low. So say this is normally how low you go, but you're just like absolutely getting fucked because your legs are just not up to that flexibility or integrity yet. Just go not as low, but still hold the position. Remember, we want to keep the quads engaged, kind of push away from the earth because we want to build strength in the position. Very important. And pretty much honestly, if you do those 2 stretches and you master them, you pretty much have all, I'm not gonna say all, but you're gonna have a large majority of the lower body mobility that you need to do like 99% of the climbs that are set in the gym or that you want to do. Again, I must preface this by saying being flexible doesn't make you a great climber, but god damn it, being flexible does indeed help you be a great climber, if you catch my drift, partner. And with that being said, I hope you fucking learned something. I hope you did. Snip, snip. And I'll see you next time, partner. Peace.